The past 24 hours have been intense when it comes to Canada, the ruling on the Trans Mountain pipeline and non-stop negotiations over NAFTA. Hayley Woodin is with Business in Vancouver and takes a look at what all of this means. Hayley, what does the Federal Court of Appeals ruling mean for the project and those vested in it?
It's a really important question, and at this stage, we don't know. It really depends on how the Government of Canada chooses to respond. And the latest we heard from government is that they're going to take some time to think about it. But there's largely two options. The government could try and have this moved on to the Supreme Court of Canada. They'd have to apply to have that done. It's likely they'd be successful because this project is in the national interest. If they are, though, that means a couple of years of litigation with First Nations. It also means that the project is going to be on hold throughout that time period with an uncertain result at the end. The other option is that the government doesn't choose to dispute this decision that we heard yesterday. They could redo part of the consultation process that the court has directed them to do. But again, that comes with an uncertain timeline. And in the interim, the project would be stalled. So very uncertain future at this point.
Absolutely. And how about the NAFTA deadline? It's here. So can you break down where the deal seemingly stands at this point in negotiations?
Again, more uncertainty. We've seen a range of comments from Canada's representatives. Earlier in the week, we saw some optimism. At this point, all we know is that the negotiations have been in an intense period for the negotiating parties. But there's two outcomes we're going to be watching for. If a deal is made on deadline day, the big question is whether Canada made concessions in the area of dairy. The U.S. has wanted concessions from Canada. Canada has not placed this on the table as a bargaining chip in any official capacity, but it is something we could see if a deal is struck. Now, on the other hand, if we don't see a deal today, the question is, how is the U.S. going to respond? They've threatened auto tariffs. They've also threatened to move forward with their U.S.-Mexico bilateral agreement, which could leave Canada on the sideline at least for the next couple of months.
It's going to be a very intense day for sure. Thank you so much. That's Hayley Woodin joining us this morning with Business in Vancouver.